The ice groaned under his boots. Dr. Elias Rourke stood alone on the frozen surface of Europa, Jupiter's moon, staring at the narrow drill shaft that stretched deep into the ice below. His breath fogged inside the helmet of his suit, but he didn't notice. He was listening, and there it was again, his name, faint, echoing from the dark Elias. He flinched, stepping back from the hole, heart pounding. The sound had come from far below, beneath kilometers of ice. His radio crackled, but no one else spoke. He was alone on the ridge, far from the main base. The others were still inside, running tests. This wasn't the first time he'd heard it, but now it was louder and closer. 2 weeks earlier, Elias had arrived with the crew of Aegir 1, the first human mission to explore Europa's subsurface ocean. NASA and other world space agencies had dreamed of this mission for decades. Under the thick ice crust, they hoped to find life. Not just microbes, but maybe something more. They had come with drills, submersibles, and AI sensors. Elias was a bioacoustics expert. He studied sounds made by living things. On Earth, he had listened to whale songs and deep-sea creatures. Now on Europa, he had been tasked with analyzing strange noises from beneath the ice. At first, it had all seemed routine. The drills bored through 3 kilometers of ice over several days. Then they lowered Nyx, the robotic sub, into the narrow shaft, into the black ocean below. That was when the sounds began. Low hums, rhythmic pulses, clicks. At first, they thought it was just ice shifting, or maybe the sub's own systems, but then came the voice. It was recorded on day 5. At 3:13 a.m., Elias had been reviewing audio data alone. He played a loop of low-frequency sounds recorded by Nyx. His tired eyes nearly closed until he heard it, Elias. He froze, rewound, played it again, Elias. His own name, faint but clear. He didn't sleep that night. He tried to show the team the next morning, but the sound had disappeared from the recording. It was gone, replaced by static. They laughed it off. "You've been working too hard, Elias," said Dr. Toma, the mission leader, "dreaming of your fan club under the ice." Elias forced a smile, but inside he felt cold, not from the ice, but from fear. He knew what he had heard, so he started listening more. He placed extra sensors near the shaft. He spent nights alone in the lab, studying every hum, every pulse. He didn't tell the team, but the voice kept coming back, always faint, always just once, always his name. Last night, something changed. The voice had sounded different, louder, more real. And with it came another sound, not just a voice, but something moving, slithering, splashing. Today, he had gone out alone to check the sensors. The sky above Europa was dark, lit only by the dim light of Jupiter hanging huge in the sky. The ice cracked under his boots as he approached the drill shaft. That's when he heard it again. And this time, it wasn't just in his ears. It was inside his mind. Elias come. He stumbled back, nearly dropping the sensor unit. His suit alarm beeped, heart rate spike. He steadied himself, breathing hard. The wind howled across the surface. Sharp and empty. Elias. "Report," came Toma's voice in his headset. He hesitated. "I heard something again." "Return to base." Now, he didn't move. He looked down the shaft, a black tunnel into the unknown. He could feel something watching, waiting. Suddenly, the ice cracked near the edge. A thin fissure snaked out with a sharp sound. Elias jumped back, and then he saw it, a glimmer. Something moving deep below the ice. Not just water, not just a shadow, but a shape. Large, slow. It vanished. His hands trembled. The voice came again. Stronger. "Clear, come to me." He ran. Back to base, feet slipping on the ice, heart pounding in his ears. He didn't look back. Inside, the airlock hissed shut behind him. The others gathered around. "What happened?" Toma demanded. Elias didn't speak. He just played the latest audio file from the sensor. The room fell silent. They all heard it, Elias. And this time, there was no static, no error, no denial. They all looked at him. No one laughed. Toma stepped forward. "That came from below the ice." Elias nodded. Everyone was silent. Then Dr. Kim, their oceanographer, whispered, "Something's down there." Elias stared at the frozen shaft on the monitor screen. He didn't know if it was calling for help, or calling him to die. The lights flickered inside the base. A cold hum filled the air, the sound of machines working endlessly to keep them alive on Europa. Elias sat alone in the control room, staring at the audio waveform on his screen. The voice was still there, clear and slow, Elias. He played it again, over and over. "Doctor." Toma entered the room, his boots heavy on the metal floor. "We're calling HQ," he said firmly. "Something's not right. You need rest." Elias didn't look up. "You heard it too." "We all did." Toma sighed. "Yes, but it doesn't mean it's alive. Could be a natural echo. Water, ice, equipment." Elias turned, eyes wide. "It knew my name." Toma didn't reply. That night, the team gathered in the briefing room. 6 people. Toma, Elias, Dr. Kim, Engineer Mara, Pilot Rafik, and Medic Jules. Tension hung heavy. They all felt it. The fear. Elias pulled up the audio and video from the shaft. "There's more," he said. After the voice, something moved below. "I saw it." Mara leaned in. "You mean the flicker?" "Yes," Elias said. "I reviewed the footage. It's real." He played the video. A dim, shifting shape, gliding in the dark water, just for a moment, before vanishing. It was impossible to tell what it was. Not a fish. Not a machine. Something else. Dr. Kim whispered, "We should retrieve Nix. Bring it back." Toma nodded. "We pull the sub up, seal the shaft, and wait for command." "But we're here to find life," Elias said. "What if this is it?" "We didn't come to lose people," Toma replied. The room went quiet. They lowered the lift to bring Nix back. The winch groaned as the cable rose slowly, dragging the sub up from the ocean's depths. They watched on the monitor, tension rising. Halfway up, the signal cut out. "Static filled the screen system error," Mara said. She typed fast, trying to re-establish contact. Then something struck the cable. Hard. The entire base shook. "What was that?" Rafik shouted. Alarms blared. The ice trembled. On the screen, they saw it. Something moving along the shaft wall, just past the sub. Large. Tentacled. Smooth. Then it was gone. The cable snapped. Nix fell. Screaming metal, crashing water. Gone. Silence followed. Elias stood frozen. Toma grabbed the mic. "Seal the shaft!" "Lockdown now!" Mara hit the emergency override. Steel doors slammed shut over the drill shaft. The shaking stopped. The alarms faded. Everyone stood still, breathing hard. They had seen it now. Something was alive beneath the ice, and it didn't want them there. That night, Elias couldn't sleep. The base was quiet, but he kept hearing faint sounds, dripping, scratching, low humming through the walls. Then came the voice, not from the speaker. From inside his head, "Elias, come to me." He clutched his ears, trembling. It was inside him. He wasn't imagining it. Something was calling. The next morning, Elias sat at the breakfast table, pale and tired. Jules noticed the blood at his ears. "You need help," she said gently. "I need to go back out," he said. They stared at him. "You can't," Toma snapped. "It's calling me," Elias whispered. Toma slammed his hand on the table. "No one is going back out there." "We wait for HQ. We survive." But Elias knew he had to return. Not because he wanted to. Because something in his mind wouldn't let him go. That night, while the others slept, he suited up. Quietly. Carefully. He left the base, stepping into the freezing dark. Jupiter hung low in the sky, its stormy surface glowing faintly. The ice crunched beneath his boots. The air was still. He reached the sealed shaft. His name echoed again. But now it wasn't just a whisper. It was a scream, "Elias, SS." The ice cracked. The scream echoed through Elias's skull like a wave crashing in slow motion. He staggered back from the shaft, his heart pounding so loud it drowned out everything else. His breath caught in his throat. The ice beneath him splintered. Thin cracks raced outward in all directions. He froze, afraid to move, afraid to fall. The sealed steel cover over the shaft shuddered. Frost sprang upward from its edges. Then silence. A voice came again. Soft now. Gentle come. Elias. He shook his head, backing away. No, he whispered. I'm not going with you. Suddenly his radio crackled. Elias, what the hell are you doing out there? It was Mara. Before he could reply, the ice beneath him gave way. He fell. The ice split open with a deafening crack. Elias plunged through the shaft's cover, sliding into darkness. Cold surrounded him like claws. He tumbled, struck metal, and then water swallowed him. Freezing, black, silent. Then came the light. A blue glow flickered in the deep. Shapes swam around him, long, thin, with soft tendrils. They didn't touch him. They circled, watching. He gasped for air, but the water was everywhere. Yet somehow, he didn't drown. He could breathe. His helmet was gone. He was floating, no suit, no gear, just him, alive in the impossible, and before him, eyes. Dozens, glowing blue eyes, set in a vast shape, coiling, endless, moving like smoke underwater. It wasn't a creature. It wasn't a machine. It was both. And it spoke, not with sound, but with thought. You are the one who listens. Elias couldn't speak. His mind was wide open. You heard us. You came. Others never hear. Only you. What are you? Elias thought we are the first memory. Born before your sun, we sleep. We dream. You woke us. Why my name? He asked. We heard you. Your voice. Long ago. Across the dark. You sang to the deep, Elias remembered. As a boy, he had recorded whale songs with his father. Played them on old radios. Once, during a deep-sea expedition, he had broadcast the songs into the Atlantic's depths. You heard that? Yes. We listened. We learned your voice. Elias felt a strange peace. But then came fear. What do you want to see, to feel, through you? No, I'm not. Not to harm, to live, to know the stars. You are the door. Images filled his mind. Earth, oceans, cities, people laughing, crying, dying. The creature, no, the mind, wanted to understand. It had waited in the dark for someone to hear it. Elias was that someone. Back in the base, alarms blared. Elias fell. Mara shouted. The ice broke. Suit signal gone. Rafik added. No response. Toma clenched his fists, gear up. We're going in. They raced to the shaft. The cover was gone, twisted metal. The ice was still. They peered down into darkness. Nothing. Elias, Toma called. No answer. They lowered a light. The shaft was empty. Gone. Beneath them, deep in Europa's ocean, Elias floated with the first memory. It wrapped around him like a cocoon, not trapping him, but holding him. You can return, it said, but the bond will remain. We are with you, a flash of light. And Elias stood on the ice, alive, soaked, shaking. The others rushed to him, eyes wide in shock. How? Are you alive? Jules gasped. Elias looked at the sky. He could still hear the voice. Inside him. They're awake, he said, and they're coming. The airlock hissed as it sealed behind them. Inside the base, silence fell. Water dripped from Elias's suit onto the metal floor. His eyes were distant, his skin pale, but his voice was calm. They weren't trying to hurt us, he said softly. They wanted to understand. Toma stared at him. You fell through the ice. You were gone for 30 minutes. There was no oxygen down there. Elias met his eyes. They kept me alive. They're old, Toma. Older than Earth. They've been waiting. For what Mara asked, for someone to hear them. For someone to listen, Dr. Kim stepped forward. What are they? Elias closed his eyes. They are memory, thought. Not just one being, but many. Joined. They call themselves the first memory. They don't live like us. They dream. They remember. And now they're awake. Silence filled the room. Elias opened his hand. In his palm, a small blue crystal glowed faintly, pulsing with light. They gave me this, he said. It's part of them. Toma took a step back. Is it dangerous? No, Elias said. It's a key, a way for them to see our world through me. Jules looked at him with fear. Are you still you, Elias? He didn't answer. Later that night, the team argued in hushed tones. Some wanted to leave Europa immediately. Others wanted to stay and study. But Elias sat alone, listening. The voice was still there, inside him. Not loud, not commanding, just watching, learning. Suddenly, the base systems flickered. Lights dimmed. Screens went black. The ground rumbled earthquake. Rafik shouted, "No!" Elias whispered. "They're coming outside." The ice cracked open again. A glow rose from the shaft. Blue light, swirling, dancing in the air. The team gathered at the observation window. Shapes moved beneath the ice, dozens of them. Long and fluid, glowing with soft blue light. They rose toward the surface. Toma gasped. "There's more of them." Quote, "They followed me," Elias said. One shape rose above the ice. Tall, shimmering, unlike anything human. Not solid, not liquid. A form of light and memory. It hovered, watching. Elias stepped forward. The crystal in his hand pulsed faster. "They want peace," he said. "They want to share knowledge." Toma hesitated, then nodded. Elias placed the crystal on the control panel. Light exploded through the room. Not blinding, but warm. Images filled their minds. Oceans, stars, other worlds. The first memory showed them who they were, what they had seen. And then, silence. The lights returned to normal. The creatures sank beneath the ice once more. The crystal dimmed. "They've gone back to sleep," Elias said. For now Toma stepped beside him. "What happens next?" Elias looked at the sky, at Jupiter's massive form above. "They'll wait. For others. For those willing to listen." Weeks later, Aegir 1 returned to Earth. Their mission was over. But Elias stayed behind, alone, listening, waiting. And deep beneath Europa's ice, the first memory dreamed of Earth, and of the man who heard them call his name.